But we're not here about meat. We're here about toes. That's a good idea, Miss Ida.
I don't want to miss anything later.
Yes. Now, the main part that you guys, that you and maybe even Cindy, and Cindy could watch this too, to know how to do it and all. The only part, my understanding, that you guys are going to need to do is this outside part, because she has changed it to where she wants it daily changed out, and it's going to be a very easy, what we call wet to dry dressing, where the intention of a wet to dry dressing is you moisten the gauze and it goes right up against the skin, and overnight that moisture dries out and it becomes dry up against the wound. And then the very next day you go to remove it when you go to change the dressing, and you're going to be able to tell it's going to pull a little bit. It pulls a little bit of that dead tissue off, and he's not going to love it. He's going to go, ooh. But that's the purpose, okay? So the purpose of that is to keep that yucky tissue off of there until that good beefy red tissue underneath starts showing more and more every day. Okay. So what you'll want to do is, just because it's stuck, it's going to be a little bit stuck. I'll show you. When we go to pull it off, it'll be a little bit stuck. You don't want to wet it down to make it easier to come off. That's the whole purpose. Wet to dry. It's supposed to be dry when it comes off, and you just pull gently and it pulls that old tissue with it, okay? That's the whole point. Then you're going to put another, after you cleanse it, you're going to put a moist gauze back on there, and then a little dry pad on top, and it's going to do the same thing the next day. It's going to dry out overnight. The next day you're going to come in and it's going to be dry, and you're going to pull, and it's going to be kind of stuck. Okay. And you're just gently going to remove it again. And you'll
do it saline water, right?
That's what we'll use, absolutely, to moisten the gauze with today. Okay. So, and like I said, when all of our supplies get here this week, we'll be able to really organize it.
I don't know if the lady left the saline water yesterday. Yeah, she left this bowl.
Okay, that's fine. Let me see what that is. That is sterile norms. Yes, keep that. I brought some other little easier to use, but keep that for a backup. Okay. Okay, so you always need just a pair of regular gloves to get going with. Okay. And for me, I usually lay out several, because if I ever get to feeling like my gloves are dirty, I'll change my gloves. So, but you know, I'm going to be doing a lot here today. But for what you're doing, you're only going to need about 2 pair of gloves. Okay. I usually bring my own trash bag so that I don't have to leave a lot of trash in the home. And I'll kind of use their trash can to kind of set my bag. So I can put my stuff there. Here's some extra bags for you guys. Want some?
You think so?
You're welcome. Okay. Now, what? Yeah, I think you guys already have some gauze, but I brought some more, and we've also ordered some more. Okay. So we have plenty of extra gauze. On this side here, she has ordered the wet sponge to go on first. Then a little dry sponge goes on top of that, and then she's ordered a 4x4 just gauze dressing to kind of tape on. Okay, it's like a big Band-Aid, except it's prettier. You know, basically it's a fancy Band-Aid. Wow. So that's what we're gonna use today. And for the side that you're learning how to do, I brought these little things.
Is this saline water?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly the same thing that's in that bottle, except it's in smaller little ampules. Now all of this other stuff is pretty much going to apply to the rest of what we're doing here today. Collagen. So we got those brand new orders yesterday after she came, and I kind of laid it out like this: for the left toe, for the left inner side, and the left outer side. Your part is the left outer side.
Okay.
We're going to be doing 2 days a week on the toe and this, and then wound management is going to come every Tuesday and do 1 day. So this and this is 3 days a week.
Okay.
This is every day,
Every day.
of
Okay.
the week, even weekends. So Miss Cindy will have to do on weekends, okay?
I will take a picture after
I
about
sure
the
will.
instruction.
Yeah. I'm using you for a table. I hope you don't mind. You're my new
Yeah.
table. Yes, I can use this right here too. Okay, let's see what we're gonna need here.
I'm
I've
glad you
ordered
came because I tried to ask questions to Miss.
with Liz and then working. They go so fast that probably hard.
But I said, okay, I don't know if I'm bother her or.
No, it's just they have to go so fast. And they know that we're going to come in and they know that we'll teach y'all.
Great.
Okay. So I brought plenty of these to last us until
The supplies.
the supplies get here. And they better get here this week. I think at the very latest, maybe Saturday.
Okay, that sounds
At
fun.
the latest. But that should hopefully be plenty to cover us until then. Okay. And this is collagen. I'm very curious to see what she put on there because she said she did put that fancy skin substitute on there.
Yeah, this time she put a whole
Mm-hmm.
square of that.
Yes. And last time I came, it didn't.
Yeah, usually she called.
It looked like just regular Adaptic to me last time, but this time I think she's got the full shebang on there. This is just for us. You don't have to worry about this
Okay.
whatsoever. We have to do this for our records. We have to gauge how it's healing. Mr. Townsend. Do this as his left toe.
I'm happy to see the centimeters because in Mexico that's what we measure, like centimeters.
Oh, y'all do?
And
Yes.
degrees, like it's in here is Fahrenheit and there is the Celsius. So my phone is always Celsius and
Oh, you're kidding. Celsius is so hard to me.
for
I
me
have
it's the
never-
opposite.
Ooh, I've never done good with Celsius. If I don't have a telephone to convert it, then you can forget it.
It's just very easy. Like it is 70 degrees, you take 30, so it's gonna be 40, and then divide it by 2. So it's gonna be, it is 70, you take out 30, so
Uh-huh.
it's 40, then divide it by 2, so it's gonna 20 Celsius. But you know, it's,
That cough,
I know, it's been,
that cough just staying every day now?
he went to the doctor, no, a nurse came, I believe last Friday,
Uh-huh.
because he was getting sick. They give him an antibiotic and everything, so it's just the phlegm.
Yes, I knew. I guess, but you do look better than you did because I know you were sick with that stuff.
Yeah. And today I wake up with a sore throat and body ache, so I said, okay, it's better to me wear
Yeah.
mask. I don't want to get sick again.
Yes. And they right now there's been Oh boy, what hasn't been going around? First, it was the cough, runny nose. That's what I had that lasted almost a month of coughing. Finally, I lost my voice over it. I finally had to go to the doctor. Took the steroids. I think I told you, Mr. Townsend. Steroids and antibiotic. Got to feeling a lot better. And then as soon as that happened, I caught that gastroenteritis bug going around that was vomiting and diarrhea.
Oh,
Yes, and it was vicious. My husband caught it and had to go to the ER to receive fluids because it just wiped him out. Unreal.
I know the school is over something.
Yeah, exactly. I always have my, alcohol, and anytime before I start, even before I put on my gloves, always before I put on my gloves, I make sure I clean my hands really good. Gloves are supposed to be foolproof and they're not supposed to have holes in them, but you just can't really trust them. So I always make sure my hands are super clean underneath.
Right.
That way, if anything ever was to tear through or anything like that. We will be able to get out my phone too. And we will get the old stuff off. And I'll be using this to take some pictures, so I'm gonna just make sure it's clean. That toe looks much better.
I know.
Healed.
I was telling him this morning. Like, it's almost gone.
Yeah. Mr. Townsend, do you want to leave on these socks? These look pretty clean, or do you have some other ones you want me to put on you?
I can have another pair.
Okay. We can put on a new pair if you want after we get finished.
Well, after we finish, I'm gonna bring it, so I don't want to lose
Okay.
nothing.
No worries. When I'm working, baby,
You want one of these?
no, I like my gloves to be really tight.
Oh, okay.
Because I work better. If mine are loose like that, they'll get stuck on tape. They'll just drive me crazy. And that's one thing I did not bring today was a tape.
We have some.
See
Don't
what
worry.
I've got for tape, and let's go ahead.
That one? It will help?
Yes, just I'll take that, baby. That'd be perfect. Okay, now we'll get him. Okay, we'll get his socks off here. These are always tight. I always just kind of stretch a little bit when I pull stuff off so it doesn't pull on the skin as much. And especially because, that bandage has special skin stuff on it. You always want to be careful around that one for sure. Okay, now we are going to start over there. Real gently on that. And scissors that, bandage scissors always have kind of a little protective place on them like that, like a little hump you see there. And it keeps you from jabbing their skin and cutting them. Now these are little bitty ones. They don't cut quite as good as my bigger ones do. Okay. So everything, it looks like the way she wraps it, babe. You're not gonna have to worry about that because I'm gonna be putting on one of these. So it will come off separately, okay? So now today, this is all gonna come off together. Yours is gonna come off separate. And what I'll do is just get this out of my way here, but I'll leave it covered up until I'm ready to work on it.
Okay.
And then we'll just do the side that you are gonna be doing.
It has water in here, or is I'm seeing wrong?
Let me turn on some light so I can see. Are you talking about that? Scabbed, yeah. Just a little abrasion there. So she just went ahead and went with a Band-Aid yesterday because she didn't have any of our dressings out here. And so
You want the spray to take the...
no, when you remove the Band-Aids, just very gently, if you see that it's really going to tear at his skin, then yes. But the part you don't want to wet is this, because remember, it's got to come off dry. But now this up here, no, this is fine if you have to wet it to get it off. But where the wound is, we want it to come off dry. We literally almost want to make it bleed a little bit. We almost want to torture our patient a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed yesterday he blinked.
We don't want to torture our sweet patient. Okay, let's have those ready to go. Okay, so I always just put a little tension around the skin there, just like that, so that it doesn't pull his skin off that's not in the wound. So here is our wound from yesterday. So you can even tell this is partially dry, and I can tell there's resistance against it. So I'm going to go ahead and get one of my gauze out, and I'm going to be ready in case it wants to bleed a little bit. I usually am kind of particular about, I don't usually touch the areas that are going to touch the wound a whole lot. I kind of, leave it as clean as absolutely possible. Mr. Townsend, this is not going to feel wonderful, okay? She's doing wet to dry, which means pulls the tissue off, okay? There we go. Okay, and you kind of look, see how much it's straining. Not bad. Did she scrape that a little bit yesterday? Okay. Good deal. Okay, now she does want us to cleanse it with wound cleanser. So I brought y'all some more because we're almost out on your thing. So I'm going to leave this with you guys today, okay?
Okay, great.
This is mine, but I'm leaving.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting low, but I ordered you some, so you will be having a brand new bottle. Okay, I like it to spray in kind of that spread out. Okay, now when I get gauze, I always pull from the top, and like I said, I always kind of use the underneath cleanest part of it. Now, important part of this is you want to, when you're cleansing a wound, you want to spray only in the wound. You don't want to spray the dirty skin around it, just the wound. Yes, because you don't really want the dirty stuff above going down into the wound. So just a good bit of spray in there, just like that. And then you can bring your gauze up, just like that, because it hasn't been touching anything. And you're just patting it dry. Okay, then I will take one more like this. I will spray the actual gauze. See how I don't really touch it? And now I'm going to go around my wound. Up here, that's pretty much closed off. That way the skin around it is very clean underneath the dressing. But once you treat it like two different things, that you treat by itself, you don't want to drag germs into it. And then the skin around it, you clean away from the wound. Did you see how I did that? Just like that, where I kind of sprayed this and then started at the wound bed, but went away from the wound. Once I was away from the wound, I never drug germs back down into to the wound. Okay? So it's doing what she wanted it to do because she wanted it to bleed a little bit. Okay? So that's the whole purpose of this type of dressing. You want to get down to the fresh, and see if it's trying to run on you, just lay a gauze right there and just hold it to absorb the blood. Okay? Just for a little bit, because you're just basically keeping it dry until you can get a gauze on it that is going to be your wet to dry dressing. Okay? And see, any little moisture, it'll kind of stick to it just like that. Now, it's such a small area that you're probably going to do better when you're doing a wet to dry dressing. They kind of like for you to kind of fluff it out a little bit, but he really doesn't need that much because it's so small. Oh, these don't cut. Where are my other ones? Good grief.
I don't think we have some of the kind of scissors.
Well, any kind of work from this point, but I don't know what I did with my, but these, I got it, baby. That finally worked. I kind of just jerked it and it finally worked right there. Okay, so you really only need a little piece about like that. Now, you can use one of these and then throw them away. You're gonna kind of just fluff it up, just like that, and you're gonna wet it good, okay? Wet it pretty good, and then she wants you to kind of squeeze it out, okay? So I take another one, and then I kind of just squeeze it out. Just trying to keep my fingers off of it as much as I can, but at the same time, you're gonna have to touch it. Okay. Don't be afraid to touch it. Okay? Okay. Now, the whole point, baby, is that we get this gauze fluffed up into the area that is all tissue showing right there. So just like she had it, just kind of a good little knot of dressing, but make sure you've got enough little pressure there that it's touching, because it's just slightly like that. Now what we're going to do is just fold one of these over, and I probably wouldn't even need to, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to fold one just to absorb a little bit of that moisture off of there. Like that. This toe looks okay. It's pretty much sealed, so I'm not going to worry about it. She didn't want to do anything with it. Okay, now before you put your little dressing on, just dab and make sure, just always, and on the wound itself, always pat, okay? Pat it dry before you put the new wet fluffed gauze on there. Just make sure you pat it. Don't ever rub.
Okay.
Okay. So sometimes you might need, a hand, but we'll see if I can do it by myself. That way we'll see how hard it'll be for you to do. Like that and that. It'll get away from you quick though. You gotta kind of watch it. But just like that. And I'm giving the skin just a minute to dry. Everything's covered up, so I'm gonna fan it. If anything was open whatsoever, I never fan, because you can actually fan germs into a wound. Yeah, because there's germs in the air. Okay. Now, that's probably nice and dry. Now, let's see how high we can go up. I meant to take a picture and I forgot again.
You want me to take a picture?
No, I've already got it dressed, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. We'll go just below that toe. We'll see how well this sticks with it being curved like that. It's pretty sticky. That's what she wanted. You can do that, and then we'll just fold that over with a piece of tape. Is what we'll do. So that's ugly, but that's what they wanted. You didn't hear that, recorder. A smaller one might have worked a little better, but then again, it might not have covered it good enough. So I'm just going to put a piece of tape right there to kind of hold that little lip down. Sometimes do just use the tape, you know.
Yesterday, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead, baby.
She put the wrap, the skin wrap, in that place of the in here.
She put some kind of skin wrap.
Yeah, and then
that cling that we took off, the long.
like this.
Oh, she put some Adaptic on it. Okay.
How do you call this?
It's called Adaptic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Adaptic.
Let me have a piece then. If you saw her put a little piece on there,
Yeah.
then I'll put a little piece on there.
And then she just put a band-aid.
Okay. So are you going to go to school or anything for nursing or medical?
Yeah, I want to. I went already to Angelina College. They have a program for adults.
Uh-huh.
But the register already passed the date, so I'm gonna wait for
The next semester?
Yeah.
Good.
I need to work more in my English because I learned when I was in my 30s. So.
Oh, it sounds wonderful to me.
Thank you.
Very good. I worked with a girl named Sue, and yours is very advanced compared to hers, and Sue does wonderful.
Oh,
So you don't worry about that. Don't you let that hold you back whatsoever. So she's got good English, huh? Good English. Okay,
Thanks.
let me see if I can find. Okay, since we're finished with that one, I'll change my gloves, and I'm gonna look for my other scissors one more time. Oh, there they are, right there. I would have looked harder. I would have found them. This right here, I just use these a lot, you know, just to disinfect stuff. If y'all have any alcohol wipes, or if y'all have, no, that don't work, but just any plain alcohol, anything you can wipe off your scissors with, you can keep your stuff nice and clean. This is the one I'm very interested, definitely, to see, because it's supposed to have that fancy stuff like I was telling you about. So I use
So you're
that.
a teacher, man? No. I thought you were a teacher. You explain very well like a teacher.
Thank you. I've always loved to teach, and in every job I've ever had, I've pretty much always ended up being the one teaching other like new employees, being the trainer. Yeah, just because I love it so much. I love it when people learn stuff. Some people, they don't care if you learn it or not. They're just like, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, can you start at A and then go to Z instead of starting at M and going to Z? I never could stand that, Mr. Townsend. People who teach and they jump in the middle of a subject and you're like, what are we learning here? I don't even know what we're learning. Okay, so we gotta see what's under here. Let's see what they've got on your Band-Aid. You got one little spot. Looks like she just put some Adaptic.
Rick Davis.
Oh, that's
Rick
that.
Davis, or one other.
That's that left lateral side that she just did the Adaptic. Okay. So, we'll be extra careful, but she said if it were to come, if the skin substitute thing were to come off, that she told me I could just put some collagen on there. These you can see better. See how it has that lip? These are called nursing scissors because you can put that up against somebody's skin and it won't cut them or poke them. It's a protective thing. They're called like dressing scissors and stuff.
Oh.
Bandage scissors is what they call it. Okay. Gently. And later on, Itha, you know, what the goal of home health is to find someone in the home who is capable of, you know, doing the wound care. So later on, if you're able, we will turn this toe over to you too once it gets
Better.
farther along and better and stuff. Okay, so we're just gently taking, looks like she just wrapped and wrapped and wrapped just the toe itself. Okay, so that was like a 2-inch. Okay, so I'm putting a little pressure. Whoops, see how fast we got there? We got there quick. So, we got down to that Adaptic quick. So all of this is just, okay, that's a 4x4, and then she put a 2x2, and she told me, let me read my thing, because she told me, yes, I could remove the Adaptic. Yes, you remove the Adaptic. The Versatel one under the Adaptic is what stays in place. So, Adaptic always, okay. Adaptic is this right here, and notice when it goes on, it kind of has an oily sheen to it, and after it's been on, it kind of has a dry look to it. But that, and the way we can tell the difference is the Adaptic has the smaller grids.
No.
This fancy stuff that she has on that she wants to stay on has bigger. See how it just kind of looks bigger holes? Okay.
Yes.
She wants that to stay on because that's the part that's supposed to help generate the new skin. That and what's underneath it. She's kind of got a fake skin substitute under there. Okay? And she did not want that cleansed or wet with anything. We don't want to get moisture under there. She just wants us to reapply the Adaptic, and then we've got some stuff ordered that's going to be coming in called Drawtex and Cling, the new wrap. Now, since this is towards the end of the package, I'm going to go, let's see, you know what, it's kind of dried out, so I'm just going to open a new one because we have enough to last us until the new stuff is coming. Okay, now I will get a picture of it. Would you mind, ma'am, just holding this for me, kind of hold it right there at the edge, and I'm going to take it
Here or more up.
kind of down, perfect right there. Now, would you mind holding this one just right there? Perfect. Got it. Yep, that's it. Thank you. We can throw those away. And then next time, maybe I'll remember to do that one. Okay. Well, I might need the light, so we'll keep it right there. Okay. Before I start wrapping that, I'm going to go ahead and take care of this. And this is what's called medial. This is lateral. This is medial. When you go to nursing school, you'll learn that. Lateral means to the outside.
Oh, okay.
Medial, think middle, inside. So,
Medial is in Spanish.
yeah, left medial. So they do want wound cleanser and then pat dry with gauze again. So here's our gauze again. And this is the one they're wanting something a little different. They're wanting something called Puricol. And it is, I brought some of it. That tickle at all? Tickle a little bit? Okay, and when I say pat dry, baby, see how I just kind of pat it dry like that? And then you pull it straight off. It's always best. Exactly. You just kind of pull it straight off because that way you don't spread the germs and you're not rubbing it. Okay, then I'm wetting one because I'm going to clean around it now. Like that, just to get it clean, to be under the bandage clean. Okay, so that's going to dry for just a minute. And she asked for, now she asked for Puricol collagen with AG. So I brought some of it because I didn't think you guys had any. And this stuff, you have to drop a little tiny drop of saline on there to activate it. I know all this pain. You know, you look at the wounds and you think, oh, they're not that bad. But at the same time, they can get bad very quickly.
I know.
So that's where they have to use all of these real specialty items. Okay, now this, you only want it as big as the actual wound. You don't really want it touching a whole lot of the good skin, okay? But it does have a tendency to shrivel up, and when you activate it with the saline, it shrivels up. So you will see, and I gotta be sure and close that up in a minute. Okay, so you only want, anytime you work with stuff like this and it says activate with saline, you just want to start with a couple of drops and see how that does as far as making it soft and pliable, because that stuff will get ooey gooey, let me tell you. And once it gets ooey gooey, it almost disappears on you.
Oh, wow.
So you have to kind of work with it and get it in the wound. See, it's almost flattening and disappearing almost, you know, like before your eyes. But it's meant to do that because it's meant to go just into the wound. Now this stuff has silver in it. And silver,
The real silver medal?
AG, that's why it says Puricol AG, because that's silver in there. Yeah, it's very interesting. And the silver actually kills germs. Perfect. Okay, so that's mainly only where our wound is. Now they want us, so that was the Puricol collagen with AG with a drop of saline. Now they also want a foam border dressing on this side as well. So I'm
That's
going
in
to,
gauze or no?
it's
Yeah.
one of those, right there, baby. One of those. Yes, would you open that for us?
Oh, it's like the big Band-Aid.
Exactly. Okay. Now, so we'll try to come down a little bit because we're gonna need to put our toe dressing on. Let me make sure it's dry for a minute.
You want me to clean it out?
I think it's dry. I think we're good. Thank you. You're so helpful, Ida. So eager to learn. I don't blame Cindy for picking you.
And it was just work perfect because I finished my year with another lady,
Uh-huh.
and I just was without a job for a
Oh,
week.
really? How did they find you?
Because my sister-in-law works at the school where Miss Cindy's sister works.
Oh, lucky duck.
I know.
You just keep getting lucky and getting all the good workers. My poor lady, she still hasn't found a worker. She only needs somebody. I thought if you know anybody, she just right now, she just needs to start out at like 2 hours, 2 days a week. But
Wow.
later on, she needs more than that. But she needs help so desperately. She, her knees are shot. She can still walk and all. But she can't stand up long enough to keep the house situated. So her house is so cluttered right now. It's not dirty, it's just cluttered. She lives in those apartments on Highway 94.
Okay.
And that's all she needs right now. And she's very picky. You know, her personality's a little tougher than the norm. But she really, once she found a good helper, she would be sweet as pie because she
She a
is.
housekeeper or
She needs somebody to help her get her house organized. Since she moved into that house, she still hasn't even, did you hear me telling them that the other day? She still hasn't even put her dishes up, you know, so, because she just doesn't feel like it. Her knees are just shot. But yeah, mainly needs somebody to come in, just a basic caregiver, you know, whether it's helping in the house or taking her to the doctor occasionally, you know, mainly those things. Walking with her outside, she's mentioned that several times. But as far, and you know, like when she goes to get a shower, you know, just being there, you know, you don't have to bathe her, but if you know of anybody that could do something like that, please call me, Ida.
She needs on mornings or the afternoon?
She was willing to do like 1 to 3 with somebody, but I think she'd be willing to do anything. She really wanted later than that, a little bit later, but the other girl said that that's all she could do, but then the girl didn't show up, so yeah, so that stunk. That stunk. She didn't show up. She got her hopes up because she seemed like a real nice girl, like it was gonna be a good fit. And whoever goes to her just needs to be patient, you know, like you, your sweet personality, you know, you can tell. Because she has real bad anxiety, and I've talked to her doctor, so hopefully her doctor's going to work on it. And when she gets irritable, when she gets real anxious, and she's very stressed out about her house right now being in such disarray, she gets real cranky and irritable, but then she feels horrible. She says, "I'm so sorry, honey. I shouldn't have been so irritable." I said, "It's okay. It's because you don't have any medicine right now. You know, you need some medicine to help you.
Yeah, to calm
You're
her
stressed
down.
out." She's very stressed out. Okay, big toe. So we got the silicone, and then we're going to do Adaptic. And then when we get the Draw-Tex, we'll have it on top of that. So for now, we're just going to do a layer of Adaptic, a 4x4, and then we're going to wrap it with the gauze.
gonna ask, do you meet Eliana already? She's the other lady who helped. We are kind
Up here?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna start to switch 1 week me in the morning and then 1 week her.
Uh-huh.
And she does housekeeping too.
Oh, she does?
Yeah, but the bad thing for us is that we need to pick up our kids from school, and then
Yes.
it's kind of difficult to work in the afternoons for us.
That's okay. You know, if anybody has any time, you know, this lady would probably work with whatever somebody wanted to do. She just isn't a real early morning person, you know.
No.
Super early morning person, she's not. But anybody that comes along that might be interested, and I'm hoping that she will be able to that her workers have been, she's had one worker that was kind of through the state, and she's coming back I think for a little while, but she's just not pleased with her. And it's not that she's a bad girl, it's just that she doesn't pay close attention. And this lady is the kind of person, she's very detailed. So if she says, I want to walk at 1:30, she wants you to be there at 1:30 to walk.
Yeah.
You know, because she was standing outside waiting on this girl the other day at 1:30, and the girl didn't show until 2. So she had been out in the hot sun until 2. And then when the girl got there, the girl went inside, and the lady was like, we're supposed to walk. And to her, that meant a lot that day. She wanted to get her, finally she felt like getting her little bit of exercise in that day. Do you have a Ziploc bag, baby?
Yeah, we have some.
Great.
Mom at Carla's.
My mom and I have been trying to catch up with each other all day today, fella. And we hadn't made it hardly yet. Thank you. Yeah. We'll try to get the air out of that bag so that it'll keep that from drying out too bad. Okay, baby. I can't remember. I think I did order y'all 4-inch of these, just like this. Of course, you right now, I thought are not going to be wrapping the toe or anything. You're only just going to be doing these little, this Band-Aid type dressing here, this bandage. But later on when you do the toe, these can be cut. They're not super easy to cut.
I
But
think I have some of the small ones. I'm pretty sure we have some.
yeah, I thought y'all did have maybe 1 or 2 of the little small ones the other day. But Liz may have used it yesterday.
Maybe we finish it because I
She
remember.
probably used it yesterday.
Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, let me see that. That's 2. Good. I guess what we need to do is just bring some big scissors. You got any big sewing scissors anywhere?
Good question. I only have.
That's
this.
okay. It ain't no big deal. You can do it with regular scissors. It's just hard to do. I should have ordered y'all 2-inch, and I may do that. I may go back and try to order you. Is that scissors or is that some kind of clip over there?
What is that?
Up there, baby. See that? It looks like
Oh, yeah,
scissors.
that's scissors. That's one.
You can't get through there because all my junk. No. Yeah. Heck yeah. This looks like this could cut the dressing, you, me, and Arthur. We gotta be careful with this. Oh yeah. These are those things that was made in the 1900s. They still work good. Who told me that those were easy to cut? They were lying to me.
Let me try to help you.
You can twist it. Yeah, we're getting there. Oh, look what we did. Okay, nix that idea. We're going to order the 2-inch. But until then, we can just use the 4. I've used the whole 4 on him before is what I've done. You just have to kind of move it around a little more.
Okay.
But these 2-inch are better if you're just going to do the toe. And I see now that she really does just want the toe to be wrapped.
Maybe that one order because yesterday I saw she wrapped with a bandage the whole. But we don't have this one. Maybe you don't need to put it.
Right. Yeah, well, I'm trying to remember. You're right. Where all did she have this? She had it all the way around. You're right.
She has a toe and then she has another one.
I remember now. Okay. Now, the thing with toes is you don't ever want to pull real tight because then you cut off the blood flow. The point is that we need good blood flow to the toes. Now, it needs to be just snug enough that it's going to stay in place, of course. When you get right here, you can put a finger and twist, and then that way you can come up over and kind of cover the toe, and then you can get back here and give it a little twist to come back around the toe. And everything gentle, 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 coming around. And I'm going to go down just a hair lower just to make sure it's on there. Good. And come back up. And not too much. I mean, you got to go in between those toes, but you don't want so much in there that it is causing a lot of pressure on his toes or anything like that. So I'm just going to kind of stop right there, and I'm just going to put tape over it to situate it. I think I got it right here. I think that's kind of what she did yesterday. And kind of go from this part to connect the back part. And everybody's going to do this different. There's no wrong way to do it. There's just principles that we have to keep in mind. And that is not too tight so that the blood flows good. Not too pushed and smushed so that it is messing up that skin substitute stuff underneath. You want to make sure that it stays without a lot of friction on it. You want it to be kind of nice and free under there. And even though that's part of that bottom dressing, these two get done 3 days a week. So they always will get done at the same time. So it's okay if you kind of, like I said, you're not going to be doing it right now, but later on, if you kind of connect that to that with even a piece of tape, because it just kind of holds everything. And I'm going to go right there with this piece of tape and just snug that right there real gently. And one last one here. But yeah, those two dressings will get changed 3 days a week. So they're completely separate dressings, but 3 days a week. This one is our everyday.
Okay.
Tomorrow is Wednesday. Nope, tomorrow is Thursday. We will come Mondays. Wound care comes Tuesdays. We need you to change it on Wednesdays and Thursdays. we will come back on Friday, and we need Cindy to change it on Saturday and on Sunday.
Okay.
Okay, now let's walk through it. So tomorrow, if you come in, tell me what you would do tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow I'm gonna start working first on this one, the dressing. I forgot the word. The wet and dry dressing.
Yes, wet to dry.
Wet to dry. Then I'm gonna take the tape and then gentle to take off the dry first gauze,
Yes.
and then it's gonna be the wet one. It can be a little bit of blood because that's what we want.
Right. And you'll see it stuck right in the middle of the wound. You won't even be able to see the wound. So you'll touch just the dressing with your gloves on and pull it gently straight back. You won't touch the wound with your finger. You're
Okay.
only touching the dressing. Throw it there. Then you'll see that little bit of oozing blood.
Uh-huh.
Right. And so if it oozes on you, then you can grab yourself a 4x4 if you want to and just cover it up for a minute until you're ready to do what next. So you got it undressed.
Okay, so next I'm gonna take a gauze, sponge it out,
Mhm.
and then put the saline water,
Yes.
put just on their wound, and then take it off again to clean,
Mm-hmm.
and then another gauze, clean around, and then take another gauze, put
There you
some
go.
saline
You
water.
clean first, then your saline water. You
Yeah.
corrected yourself. You did good. You got it.
And then put just cut the amount of gas that you think is gonna fit on the wound, and then the dry one, and put the tape,
Yeah.
the big Band-Aid.
It doesn't take much. That's right. So if it was me and I came in tomorrow, I would go ahead. I'd take everything off because you noticed that wasn't in bad shape. I would take everything off. My very next step would be I would take the moistened part. I would grab it just gently. I would pull it off. I would take one of these and I would, because it's going to be bleeding a little, I would just apply pressure, just gentle pressure to the wound while I'm getting ready to clean the wound, because next is time to clean the wound. So I can throw that away. I'm going to put my gauze and I'm going to spray only the wound because we don't want the germs around it to leak down in it. Okay, so after I've sprayed gently, I'm going to take this and just pat dry. Pat, pat, pat with that. I'm getting me another one because now I'm going to get ready to clean around it. Exactly. So I've got me a little spot that I haven't been touching on. I spray, and now I start right around the wound and I go out, out, out. And it's okay if you go ahead and clean that toe because it's already pretty much doing fine on its own. So all that's clean now. And then one last one right there just to absorb all the moisture for a minute. And it'll probably just stay right there on it while I'm getting myself one ready to separate and fluff, because this is going to be the wet to dry area. You can just cut you some of it. Doesn't take a whole lot. All that, kind of just fluff and squish. Probably a little more than that. I cut it too short on that one. But about like that. And then just wet it real good. I mean, soak it good. Get you another one, and you want to kind of wring it out just gently. You want it to be moist but not drippy wet.
Okay.
Okay, feel of that. That's what you want it to be like. Okay, spread it out just a hair. And yours is going to be a little bigger than this. Make sure it's a little fatter, not much. Okay, take that off. You put that on, and then you're going to put one dry one on top of it. You can already have it folded in 4s if you want to. I'm going kind of fast, so it's a little messy. But already have that in 4 and have your dressing open. And you know what you could do? You could cut you a little piece of your Adaptic, because this is already clean, and just cut you a hair piece of Adaptic to go there. And this could go ahead and cover the whole toe and everything.
Yeah.
Sure could. Just cover the whole toe. And then if it just absolutely doesn't fit good, you can go back to the Band-Aid. And then I just reinforced it with tape, baby, because it just kind of crumples up a little bit. So you'll need this and this tomorrow. You'll definitely need your 4x4s. You'll need your saline. You will need your wound cleanser. You'll need your tape. You'll need some gloves. I always just clean all of my stuff. I'll leave these here with you, baby, if you want to cut that gauze with it. They don't cut wonderful, but these are cheap at the store.
Okay,
If Cindy wants to pick y'all up some, they're only like $5 or $6 at the store, and they're called bandage scissors.
Okay.
Okay, is that everything? And you might use the extra Band-Aid, but mainly it's just the 4x4s.
So you guys are gonna change the activate thingy and the main toe.
Yes.
And I'm gonna do the
You only do this
lateral.
on Wednesday, Thursday. You do lateral, and then we do toe and medial Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays only.
So I'm gonna do
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
us.
Exactly. For the lateral, because it's daily. This whole side is only 3 days a week.
Okay.
This is daily now. For now, she said, as long as we're doing the wet to dry.
Great.
Yes. And remember, the key to it is, even if it's stuck, you don't want to wet it in order to pull the dressing out. You want it to be a little hard to pull out so that it pulls the
That's the main.
tissue. Yes. And she'll look at it next Tuesday, and if the tissue's looking good, then she may change it to something else.
Okay.
So like I said, this should be